Start by grabbing the bag's base from your kit. Remember, the side with the 4 feet should face out when you're done. Begin crocheting with the feet side facing you. The base plate has 45 holes around it. Crochet 3 single crochet stitches in each hole. After the first round, you will have a total of 135 single crochet stitches. Begin by inserting your crochet hook into any one of the holes on the base plate. Take out your creamy yarn, leave a 4-inch tail, and tie a single knot to start. Place the creamy loop onto your hook to begin crocheting. Pull the loop through and yarn over to crochet a chain stitch. Reinsert the hook back into the same hole, and then making 3 single crochet stitches. Insert the hook into the hole and pull out the yarn, leaving 2 loops on the hook. Then, yarn over and pull the hook through both loops at once. This forms a V-shaped stitch, which is your first single crochet stitch. Repeat the process to crochet 2 more single crochet stitches in the same hole, completing the set of 3 single crochet stitches for that hole. Now, continue by crocheting 3 single crochet stitches in each of the remaining holes around the base plate. Follow this pattern until you have worked through all the holes, completing the first round. When you reach the last hole, continue by crocheting 3 single crochet stitches into it, just as you have done with the previous holes. After completing the last set of single crochet stitches, locate the first V-stitch you made at the beginning of this round. Insert your hook into this stitch and make a slip stitch to close the round. To start the second round, first crochet 2 chain stitches to serve as the turning chain. Crochet a half double crochet stitch in the same stitch as your turning chains, yarn over, then insert your hook into the first V-stitch. Yarn over again and pull up a loop, leaving 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over once more and pull through all 3 loops on your hook at once. This completes your first half double crochet stitch. Stretch out the loop and place a marker in the first V-stitch to mark the beginning of the round. Continue crocheting 1 half double crochet stitch in each stitch around. Keep going until you have completed 135 half double crochet stitches in total for this round. After completing the last half double crochet stitch, remove the marker and make a slip stitch into the first stitch of the round to close it. For the third round, crochet 9 half double crochet stitches, then make 3 half double crochet decreases. Repeat this grouping 9 times around. Crochet 2 chains as a turning chain. Then we crochet 9 half double crochet stitches in each stitch. Pin a marker at the first V-stitch. Keep on crocheting the remaining 8 half double crochet stitches. After finishing 9 half double crochets, let's do a half double crochet decrease next. Yarn over so you have 2 loops on your hook. Then insert your hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop, leaving you with 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over again, then insert your hook into the next stitch and pull up a loop. Now, you should have 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over once more and pull through all 5 loops at once. This completes your first half double crochet decrease stitch. By completing the half double crochet decrease, we've combined the next 2 stitches into 1 stitch. Next, we'll crochet 2 more half double crochet decreases. After completing 3 half double crochet decreases, continue to repeat the pattern of 9 half double crochets and 3 half double crochet decreases 8 more times. After completing the last half double crochet decrease, remove the marker and make a slip stitch into the first stitch to close the third round. With the third round complete and a total of 108 stitches, now we proceed to the fourth round of crocheting. For the fourth round, create a pattern by crocheting 10 half double crochet stitches followed by 1 half double crochet decrease. Repeat this pattern 9 times around. Start with 2 chains. Let's crochet the first half double crochet. Pin a marker at the first made stitch. Continue by crocheting the remaining 9 half double crochet stitches. On the 11th stitch, make a half double crochet decrease stitch. After finishing the first group of stitches, continue to crochet the remaining 8 groups in the same pattern. After completing the last half double crochet decrease stitch, remove the marker and make a slip stitch into the first stitch to close off the fourth round. For the 5th and 6th rounds of crocheting, work 99 half double crochet stitches in each round, maintaining the stitch count without any increases or decreases. After completing the last half double crochet, make a slip stitch and stretch out the loop. Then, take a moment to count and ensure there are 6 rows completed. Cut off the yarn. Now, let's join the bag body to the granny square ring. To work on the joining part from the back side, flip the bag bottom up, and turn the granny piece over too. To attach the granny piece to the bag bottom, use a yarn needle. Notice that each granny piece has 8 single crochet stitches, and there's a seam between each piece. The stitches on the granny piece align one by one with the stitches on the bag bottom. Each seam also aligns with 1 stitch. So, for one side, count 9 stitches, and with 11 granny pieces in the ring, you'll have a total of 99 stitches that match up one by one for a neat and even join. Cut a 16 inches length of creamy yarn and leave a 4 inches tail from this length. Tie a single knot to start. Choose any one of the granny flower pieces and locate the first single crochet stitch on the far left side. Thread the yarn needle through a V-stitch on the top row of the main body. Find out the first single crochet stitch of the granny piece. Then we thread these 2 stitches through. Pull the thread through until the end loop. Then we pass the yarn needle through the knot loop. We pull yarn tail tightly to secure it in place. Then we continue sewing the second set of V-stitches. Hide the yarn tail in the middle and keep on sewing the third set V-stitches. In the fourth set of stitches, keep on sewing the pieces together. Cut off the yarn tail. Now that we've joined 8 matching stitches, let's align the stitch with the seam. Thread the yarn needle through the stitch on the bottom of the bag, and then through the corresponding stitch in the seam. After completing 9 stitches on the first granny square, we'll proceed to sew the remaining 10 pieces. Now we've reached the final seam stitch. After finishing the last stitch, sew through the first set of stitches again and tie a knot to secure them in place. Then, we hide the yarn tail. Tie an additional knot for extra reinforcement. Cut off the yarn. Now, turn the bag inside out and neatly tuck away any excess threads. The granny squares are now attached to the bottom of the bag. Now, let's move on to crocheting the top part of the bucket bag. For this section, we'll crochet 6 rows of half double crochet stitches, with 99 stitches in each row. Then, for the 7th row, we'll switch to double crochet stitches. Locate the slip stitch of the bottom row, and we'll start crocheting from the stitch directly above it. Take out the creamy yarn, leave a 4-inch tail, and tie a single knot. Locate the first single crochet stitch directly above the slip stitch line. Insert the hook into this stitch and place the loop on the hook. Hold the working yarn and pinch the yarn tail against the back of the piece. Hook out the loop and crochet 2 chains. Then, crochet a half double crochet in the same stitch. Pin a marker here. Next, crochet a half double crochet stitch into each of the stitches all the way around. After completing 8 half double crochet stitches on this side of the granny square, we proceed to crochet the 9th half double crochet into the seam stitch. Yarn over and insert the hook into the top 2 yarn strands at the seam position. This completes our first set of 9 half double crochet stitches. Continue this pattern, repeating the process for all the pieces around. Place the last half double crochet at the seam. Remove the marker and make a slip stitch in the first stitch. We have completed this round. You can count to ensure there are 99 stitches in this round. We'll continue to crochet half double crochet stitches all around for the remaining 5 rounds. After the last slip stitch, counting from the bottom to the top, there should be 6 rows of half double crochet stitches. In the 7th row, we crochet a row of double crochet stitches to create a convenient path for threading the drawstring later on. Crochet 3 chains as turning chain. Then, crochet a double crochet stitch into each V-stitch all the way around. We can clearly see that the vertical column of double crochet stitches is longer than that of the half double crochet stitches. Keep on crocheting double crochet stitches. Make a slip stitch with the first stitch to close this round. The 7th round is finished. We'll proceed to crochet 99 half double crochet stitches for the remaining 2 rows. Pin a marker at the first made stitch. After completing the last slip stitch, cut the yarn off. Hide the yarn tail by weaving it to the back, then secure it with a knot. Cut off yarn tails. Now let's make a drawstring. Take 2 strands of yarn, each 6.5 feet long, and hold them together. Tie a slip knot 9 inches from the end, and then start crocheting 95 chain stitches. Adjust the size of the loop, then crochet the first chain. Second chain. Continue crocheting the remaining stitches. After completing 95 chain stitches, stretch the loop out. We fold the drawstring in half. Use a yarn needle to thread the drawstring into the bag. Locate the slip stitches line. Thread the drawstring through the 8th vertical column from slip stitches of the 7th row, then pass it through every 8th vertical column once. Leave half of the drawstring for the other side. Fold the bag in half. We thread the last stitch through the hole near the center stitch. We have threaded half of the drawstring. Now, repeat the above process to thread the other side. Now, let's move on to making the tassel. Here's one completed tassel. These are the yarns we've chosen to make the tassel. Wrap the tassel yarn around your hand 10 times. Cut off the yarn. Wrap each of the other 3 colored yarns around your hand 2 to 3 times. Remove all the loops from your hand. Use the yarn tail of the drawstring to tie knots at the middle of the loops. You can tie the knot several times and place the tails downward with loops. Take out the blue yarn and start 0.5 inches from the top, pulling tightly to wrap the loops around. Then tie knots and cut off the yarn. Thread the yarn tail to the inner side of the tassel. Set aside a length of 2 inches and cut off the loops. We can use a brush to open up the threads. If you don't have a brush, a comb can be used instead. Then trim the tassel with scissors. Make the other tassel in the same way on the other side. Now we're going to sew the lining inside of the bag. Each side of the lining has 2 eyelets, which are attached to the corresponding sides of the bag. Place the tassels in the middle part of the bag, aligning the eyelets of the lining with the 2 sides of the bag. Tidy up the lining to make it fit snugly against the body of the bag. Next, locate the eyelets on both sides. We'll start sewing the lining to the bag using a needle, beginning at the eyelet position and sewing from the inside so that the stitches can be hidden. Tie knots and cut off the thread. Take out the strap and attach it to the hole with the snap. Our granny bucket bag is complete.